Hey everybody, this is Mark Jackson. We're back at Sanctuary Hills for a rather interesting video. My soldiers. I wish we could equip the Minutemen with better stuff, can we?
General.
Yeah, I haven't earned that general title. Anybody else strike? Anybody else feel funny about that when Preston Garvey called us general for the first time? I was like, whoa, wait a minute, where'd that come from? I haven't earned that yet. But yeah, Bye, trash can, Carla. We're in for a video today that's going to be a little bit different and things that I have not seen. Well, then go home. That I really haven't seen anybody do online. I'm not trying to say that nobody has, but I haven't seen one. And this is a reoccurring plague, guys, that I see with quite a few Let's Players. The guys that I follow, I mean, adamantly, they don't do this. They don't have this problem. But a lot of the a lot of Let's Plays that I've watched, all the way through Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, they have a problem. And the problem that we're going to deal with today is weight management. One of the specific things about weight management is you're watching a Let's Play or you're playing the game yourself, and you end up carrying too much stuff and can't run. I'm going to get rid of this radiation for sure. Little rat away on speed dial. Did I hit that? Yeah, okay. A couple purified waters, which is, we're going to kind of get into that because that reduces our weight. It's a small thing. But we're coming into this one what I like to call fat. So we're not at combat weight. And what I want to do in this video specifically is talk a little bit about weight management to you guys, and talk about your combat loadout and how much, and the wrong ways to load out. Now you notice I didn't say the right ways. Now we're going to drop all our junk with T, and we're going to go down to 167, which isn't too bad. And we can start there. Notice I said I didn't say the right way, because there is no one right way to load out. Before you're back home, you drop all your stuff off, you gear up, you get your ammo together. There's no one right way to load out. I mean, that's all, really up to you. But there are plenty of wrong ways. The first wrong way is when you leave to go on a mission, you forget to check your companion to see what he's got. That's the first mistake. And as we notice, Hancock's fine. He's got a couple of weapons. Fusion cores have no weight. Even more importantly than making sure that your companion is empty, and a lot of people forget about that, is having a good organizational system for your storage stuff. Now, I'm not going to claim that this is good organization here, but it is the way that I like it. In here is stuff that I'm going to give to my settlers. In here is straight up drugs. And in here is consumables, cooked food and Nuka-Colas and stuff. Everything, nothing raw in there. Everything's cooked. Always put everything raw and all your aid components when you drop off. And I don't know how many I have in here. Aid, grape mentats, grilled red stag. We'll get into this in a minute. But we're looking for uncooked stuff and stuff that goes into craftable items. I know Nuka-Colas can be one of them, but we're going to put that in consumables for now because that's where I put them. I don't like crafting with them. Aid. Yeah. There we go. Now you'll note, real quick in my ammo, that, for being level 60, that's kind of light. Wish that was 1337. That would have been a great coincidence. That's kind of light. That's because I like to store a lot of ammo here. Now, ammo doesn't take weight, that's true, and I'm not telling you guys, hey, store your ammo in an ammo box. But I do like to do it, especially at the beginning of the game, so I know that when I'm running low on a weapon out in a mission and it forces me to switch to something else, oh man, I got to change. I got to do something else here. It's a great comfort to me to know that I've got more at home. It's also a great comfort. Here's my grenade box. So all my grenades go in here just to keep things organized. Again, if you don't want to do this with the organizational system, you don't have to, but I find it's easier. Fragmentation mines. We're going to drop a few of those because I don't load out with that many. Fragmentation grenades, I like to have 6 when I go out, but we'll get to that in a minute. Here are the weapons we're going to keep. Here is just pretty much regular clothing, you know, that I want to keep. You know, here is armor pieces that I want to keep. This right here is miscellaneous stuff and junk that I want to keep. This is straight up miscellaneous right here that I want to keep. So we got book return tokens, a lot of our detective tapes. And again, they don't take much weight, and a lot of them don't take any weight at all. But obviously we got to drop off the magazine because we're doing an organizational episode. All right. But they junk up your miscellaneous. Now I've got a mod called, I believe it's called Key Nuker, that gets a lot of the nonsense out of the miscellaneous tab, but I like to dump that stuff off just to keep a clear inventory, and I still take a lot of comfort in knowing that, hey, you know, I mean, 186 rounds of 308 for a level 3 or level 60, you know, player, that's awful. That uses you know, the Overseer's Guardian chambered in that caliber. That's awful. So I try to, but not when you consider all the other, Now that's an unnecessary step, as, you know, ammo doesn't have weight to it, but I'm always concerned about, you know, a mod or a DLC, and this is a practice that I went into with Fallout 3. I was always concerned about having everything stolen or robbed off me. You know, and that is the reason why I always store some ammo. And to know, even though I'm getting low on it and I get forced to another gun, you know, I've always got more at home. Now, one of the things you want to do before you set off is sleep. And sleeping, I think you pulled more than one, because I'm a warrior woman. Love you, Kate. One of the things that's included in your loadout is sleeping, so you get that better XP. Now I want to talk about the actual loadout itself and how much weight you should be carrying. Well, at the beginning of the game, without at least 2 perks into the strong back perk, which 2 perks give you a total of 50 extra carry weight, and I have both perks right now, I personally would not recommend going beyond those 2 perk points in strong back. And but I have seen Let's Players use it to great efficiency. But I like perks that are active pretty much all the time where necessary. And let's face it, once you get here, you know, you can use action points to run. That's great, and I've seen it used to great effect. And when over encumbered, you can fast travel, even better. But once you get there, you're done. You're done. It's a matter of time before you got to go back, no matter what. And that's something you can do anyway. You can go home anyway before that problem, the over encumbrance, occurs. You can go home before that, and then you can go back, and it's just save time and 2 save perks, in my opinion. Now, you disagree, and I'm not saying I'm right, because again, there's no one right way to do this. But without those 2 perks, I would recommend a carry weight when you head out for mission, when you've dumped all your gear. I would recommend a carry weight of around 145. Once you get into strong back, I like around 164 around, right where I'm at right here. And now we got to go into weapons. So have a good melee weapon. Always have one of them. Does not have to be Hello Kitty or Super Sledge, you know, and you can save even more weight. Have a pistol. You know, that's an M9. It's a mod, you know, but it's comparable to the 10mm. And that unique pistol that you get from the Railroad Quest, well, it looks like a Walther PPK. I can't remember what they call it in the game. Always have long-range support. All right, this is my recommendation on weapon loadout. Have yourself a shotgun. Have yourself a nice rifle. This is Easy Company. It's the Overseer's Guardian. I call it Easy Company. Have yourself a nice rifle. Have yourself a decent energy weapon, because you can bounce back and forth between conventional ballistic ammo. Now, I added something to this particular loadout. I added I call it squad goals, because it sends my squad to me. Obviously, that's going to send the Minutemen to my location.
Wait, you see him too?
So, shut up, Dance. I know what I'm doing. And that's my recommendation for weapons. Have weapons for every occasion. A good range weapon, a good melee weapon, and a couple of mid-range engagement weapons. You know, I mean, again, to be clear, in this particular loadout, that and that are your bread and butter. All right? And the rest are kind of specialty. Now, don't have multiple copies. So what you need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapons, generally. You don't need to be carrying around 15 weapons. You know, I mean, that's a travesty when you're leaving the base and your weight is, you know, I mean, like you're 250 out of 350. And so many players do that, it's not even funny. So many players, they don't sleep before they leave. So many players, they don't make sure the companion is empty and everything's organized before they leave. And then they run into trouble out there, and it becomes this grind just to watch their Let's Plays. And again, I'll go so far as to say that nobody featured on my page. And if you look to the right of my YouTube video, you'll see some featured channels. These guys play Fallout, and they know what they're doing. They do not have these kinds of problems, and it's because in their own way they follow this kind of doctrine. So before you leave, you know, simply go through and make sure that you've got everything you need. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of advice on what I think you need. And we're going to focus on chems, and we're going to focus a little bit on clothing. Not too much. Clothing's pretty run-of-the-mill. So let's go to apparel. Really the only thing I have to say about clothing, and if you notice, see, somebody asked me about this. Actually, it was a buddy of mine, Big Mike. He called me up after watching my YouTube video and was like, "Hey man, you look hot." And I was like, "Coming from you, that means almost nothing," and it's a little disturbing. And he was like, "No, I mean in Fallout." I was like, "Oh great, yeah, that's great." You know, as I play, I play as my girl, not as me. I play as her. But you'll notice that I'm not wearing armor. But in here, I am. And that's because I got a mod that makes all the armor invisible. And these are all pieces you can just pick them and find. But I'd rather not look all patchwork together like some crazy raider. Back to the armor thing. Something that you should carry around all the time. A hazmat suit. Now, if you got to swim somewhere, if you've got to go into a high radiation area, if you've got to double up with, like, you know, Rad-X and a hazmat suit, so yeah, this is a necessary piece of equipment that I recommend you carry around at all times, is a hazmat suit. And you can buy them. I know you can find them, and a lot of you guys out there watching already know where they are, you know, where you can get them, or already have one. But for the guys that don't, excuse me, there is the Basement Clothing Shop in Diamond City, and they have them almost all the time. Now, that's my standard loadout as far as weight and apparel. You know, if I need some extra charisma, if you're a low charisma player, you could take a tuxedo, you could take special pieces that are designed for charisma and have them all on you at all times. You don't want to be failing those speech checks. You do not want to do that. I mean, so much of this game is centered around charisma. I don't personally need it because I've got an 8 out of 10 charisma, and some of these pieces help my charisma, and you know, I can go get a tux if I need to. So I don't carry one, but maybe I should. Alright, now we're going to aid. Always important to carry something that's going to cure all of your addictions. Look at the effect. There's also something called the refreshing beverage that cures all your addictions. If you've got to use chems out there and you get addicted to them, you do not want to keep it that way. You want to stop that addiction immediately. So always carry that. Berry Mentos is another one. That one in storms, you know, and the glowing sea and you know, again, bad weather at night, that's going to help you if you need it. These are lightweight drugs, and I would not carry any more than 1 or 2 of those. Buff out, I carry 2 or 3. Right now I have 3. I must have picked one up somewhere. You know, great Mentats. Now, this one here, you might as well carry just in case you come across a legendary thing that you want to buy and you're just short on that money. It doesn't weigh that much, and I would carry it. And now these, 25 carry weight. Extra 25 carry weight, and that stacks with buff out, which gives you even more carry weight. So when you get in trouble out there in the wasteland, and it lasts a good while too. So I would take to the 120 to assume that it lasts 2 hours. 60 minutes, times 2. But always have a couple of those on you. If you get over encumbered, especially if you're a Let's Play player, you can continue on. You can save those last 2 perk points in Strong Back. And Strong Back, as far as, going further, that's really a timing issue and how you want to deal with it and how well prepared you are. Jet, I'm carrying a little bit too much. Again, I probably picked this stuff up. I jump right back from a previous mission. I usually carry 2 or 3. Med-X, I usually carry 3. Mirelurk cakes, great stuff. That's why you do not, I believe it takes razor grain, and I know it takes dirty water. Dirty water is one of the greatest liquids, craftable liquids in this game. And that's an interesting switch from previous Fallout games where it was loathed. In this game, you can make such great stews, and I'll get into one of those stews in a minute. But yeah, let's make sure that we follow our own doctrine here. And I know these drugs are really light, but weight management is what we're talking about. Weight management in real life. I mean, it is so important for soldiers. Just think about, design the most kick-ass tank you can in your brain right now. Picture the most awesome tank you can. And chances are what you're imagining is going to be so big and heavy, it won't be able to, a normal bridge won't be able to support it. So, yeah. So, Med-X, we keep 2 usually. Mentats, we keep 2 or 1. Mirelurk cakes, we keep 2. And the important part there is because you can breathe underwater with them. That combined, so you get Mirelurk eggs, you get dirty water. That combined with a hazmat suit, and you don't need to take the Aqua Boy or the Aqua Girl perk. You save a perk point there, even though that perk is really convenient. Mutthound shops. Now, man, that's what I was going to show you first. But I want you to imagine my health bar down on the bottom left of the screen, and how many people you've watched and how many times you've seen that little sliver of red radiation. And it's not worth using a stim pack, obviously. Your health is max, but you got that little sliver of radiation. That's 80% of the game that you're running around. Mutthound chops knock down -5 rads and give you health. So instead of wasting a stim pack, instead of wasting a rad away, carry a couple of these around if you really want to get that, that sliver of red out of there at the same time you accrue health. And you'll solve that problem. And that could make all the difference. Orange Mentats is totally optional. Plus 10% VATS accuracy. That's only if you really need it, of course. Overdrive, something I usually don't carry, but again, as a level 60 player, these 2 are probably not necessary. But I carry them just in case. I carry a couple of Psychos just in case for obvious reasons. Purified water. Ooh, I'm light. I go out with 10 to 11 purified waters. Rad-X, I'm a little heavy there. Rad-Away, I'm fine. You always want the Rad-Away around. And Squirrel Stew, that's another one you make with dirty water. Gain 2 XP for 2 hours. Oh yeah, I got my math wrong, didn't I, on the... Now that I think about it, yeah, I got my math wrong. Math was never my strong suit, so... But yeah, knowing, yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to go and get some purified water. We're going to take our store money too. Aid. Purified water is just great. Come on now, 56. I have 3 big, and we'll just grab that, 166. To be a little overweight to go out on the next mission isn't a big deal, because when you drink them, you go down in weight, which is neat. So yeah, finishing out the drugs, Squirrel Stew is a wonderful one. That takes, again, dirty water, squirrel bits, and I think carrots, something else. So always keep those squirrel bits. I keep... Oh, I'm 1 heavy on Stealth Boys. I keep 2 Stealth Boys. And the reason why I keep 2 is because the Stealth Boy, the length of time it helps you in Fallout 4 is much shorter than in previous games. So I try to keep 2. But yeah, that's really what I'm getting at, is try to organize, get some sleep, make sure your companion is empty, make sure everything's where it needs to be, And a little bit of advice of food and drugs. Again, if you get over encumbered out there, and that's one of the biggest things, this is a loadout video, which really means being prepared for any situation you can in general. But at the same time, I want to stop people. I want to stop seeing people get over encumbered so much online, and I want to try and save them, some perk points in that regard. Especially with the Aqua Boy or the Aqua Girl. You just carry those around, the hazmat suit and the Mirelurk cake, and you're good. All right, now we're going to get into Chapter 2 of this, and I'm sorry, guys. Chapter 2 is going to be a lot shorter. This is my loadout. Again, there's no one right way to do this, but these are the steps that I take before I leave. Now, Chapter 2 is going to be a quick one. And Chapter 2 is when you go to a place, and you end up over encumbered, no matter what you do or what your decisions are, don't be afraid to just stop what you're doing, right in the middle of what you're doing, and come home, drop your stuff off, and go back there and do it again. That's it. I'm over encumbered. It's stupid to stay and keep dropping things and all that. Just go back home. Get another night's sleep. Make sure you're getting that XP, and come back. Now, these loadouts change. This is a general loadout that I'm giving you. Advice. I'm not saying I'm right. There's no one right way to do it. But again, there's plenty of wrong, and that's, just being lazy and forgetting about stuff. Just take those steps. You're going to be good. Now, that changes with power armor. How much you can carry. Power armor automatically bumps your strength to 11, so you can carry more. If you get calibrated shocks, you can carry even more. Most of us use power armor for high combat engagements, like Gunner's Plaza or some of the stuff you might encounter out in the glowing sea, which I don't think the glowing sea is nearly as hard as it should be. So what you're going to do with power armor is you're going to add yourself, in a high combat environment, very quickly. You're going to add some more drugs. You're going to add a rocket launcher. You're going to add, I don't know who would add a minigun. They're not balanced very well in this game. You're going to add something like the Truth. The Truth, which is this guy here. Pretty good rocket launcher anyhow. Have I not upgraded this thing? I thought I had auto-targeting on it. I'll take care of it later. Oh, it's the Mutant Slayers one that I did. So, yeah. Just keep all these simple things in mind before you go out. You're going to have a lot more fun out there. You're going to have a lot more time to spend out there. And, down the road later on in the game, it doesn't hurt to get a little bit pickier about what you actually pick up. You don't have to, unless you love leather armor and you want to dress all your settlers in it. Props to you, but, I wouldn't be picking up super mutant boards, and I wouldn't be picking up pipe pistols, and I know a lot of you guys know that. So just carefully managing your weight. You got to look, it's just real life, and I know a lot of you guys know, but you got to get ready to go before you can go. And where you're going to go and what you're going to do depends on it. But I hope that my generic loadout's okay, and I hope that basically anywhere you go, you're not going to get caught by surprise by the generic loadout that I had, the base loadout. And I think I've wasted enough of your time. I hope this video was helpful. Be vigilant. Those are a few tips. I try to be on a general. I'm trying to leave. I try to be around 165 pounds. Maybe that helps you guys out. I'm Mark Jackson, and have a good evening.